Hello there my fellow Holotable heroes and welcome to another Fleet Guide video. So couple of days I posted a Leviathan mirror match video showing the new updated Scimitar and how it makes these mirror matches very reliable. And then there was lots of chatter on Discord and as well in the comments below of that video, like, oh, but what if your opponent only sets Scimitar on defense as their only reinforcements, because then obviously Scimitar will be reinforced first, and then will that throw off some counters, especially there's lots of chat around Profundity not working anymore. So what I decided to do to test it out and show you the 3 teams that I was able to beat Leviathan with Scimitar as the only reinforcement on defense. So we'll first do a mirror match with Leviathan. That one's kind of straightforward. Profundity can still work, but you have to bring in, guess what? Your own Scimitar as the first reinforcement. And then finally Galactic Republic with Endurance make easy and quick work of this lineup. So yeah, while obviously bringing in Scimitar as your only reinforcement on defense can throw off some things, then it just makes you vulnerable to other counters. Like Endurance isn't always 100% counter, but I think just with one reinforcement as Scimitar, Endurance should probably be quite reliable there. But anyway, let's look at the footage. As mentioned before, we'll first kick off with the mirror match. So as in the mirror match video a couple of days ago, we'll just be bringing Scimitar and Mark 6. That's all what you really need. However, in this case, you will want to bring Scimitar as your first reinforcement, not second, which means less banners from Grand Arena perspective. In Flight Arena, I guess, doesn't matter. So while I guess putting only Scimitar on defense as a reinforcement, it opens up maybe other counters that become more reliable. But at the same time, if they do decide to use Profundity, they do decide to use Leviathan, it's going to be a lower banner win. But then if they use Endurance, they might gain more banner than they otherwise would using Endurance. So you gotta weigh in, I guess, your options, what your strategy will be. But as you can see, we lost the coin flip and we just keep going. First reinforcement has to be Scimitar, because obviously we'll have to match their speed increase, because they will reinforce Scimitar as well in a moment. However, this was enough, as you can see, that we did start outrunning the enemy. By the time they bring in their Scimitar, we are already ahead of them. So from here on out, it's just a case of clearing the rest of the ships. Just stall out the battle until you get to the ultimate, and then you should be good to go. There we go, they're doing their thing, we are doing our thing. Nobody goes down. One more turn to the ultimate. I will bring in my second reinforcement now, Mark 6. And remember, they only have Scimitar as the reinforcement, so no reinforcements for them. Now, why only Scimitar on defense as the reinforcement? Because if you put any other ships, most likely Scimitar will come in second, not first. So if you put Mark 6 and Scimitar, Mark 6 will come out first and then Scimitar. So Scimitar then won't have as much effect on the speed increase or not. So I think that's why the overall kind of idea was, hey, just put Scimitar on defense if you want a little bit throw off, I guess, your opponent. I don't know. But just showing you, we got the ultimate race done. Now Profundity definitely a bit dicier versus Scimitar as the only reinforcement. So what you have to do is bring in Scimitar of your own just to match that speed increase that again allows you to win the ultimate. But otherwise, strategy is going to be the same. We start off by giving turnover to Outrider. Outrider gives you tenacity up, and then we'll just keep going. They're going to go ahead and drop Isolate on the Y-Wing, and they're going to hit us with an AoE. Another AoE coming in, and here we go. Soon we're about to bring our first reinforcement, which will be Scimitar. Now, while this will allow us to get obviously their speed increase as they will, it will not benefit you in terms of stopping the debuff sticking, because normally you would first bring in Mark 6 as your first reinforcement just to get tenacity up so you can resist the debuffs. If you do that versus Scimitar on defense, you will lose. So you also have to bring in Scimitar as your first reinforcement, and then the battle obviously doesn't go as clean as it would otherwise when using Mark 6, just because we don't have tenacity up, but it still allows you to win the ult race in the end, obviously considering you get enough assists from Falcon, that is. but at least obviously with no Seed Fighter on the enemy side, right, you don't have to deal with all the foresight shenanigans, so that, I guess, it does make it a bit easier. As you can see, working towards my ultimate. Hopefully by next turn I should have it already ready. There you go, we are 98%. So we just need to, you know, one attack out of turn, one crit, which we got there, both of them actually. So we will now hit the ult, but yeah, definitely not very pretty. I'm just gonna, yeah, stall it out. Not sure how long my Outrider can hang in there. Because of the shock, was not able to get damage immunity, but at least we were able to recover all health and protection. Now at this point you do want to hide your Falcon, because let Outrider tank as long as it can. Bringing in Ghost gets destroyed unfortunately, but because it was Ghost as a reinforcement, we can now bring in, sorry, Phantom was the first reinforcement, now we can bring in Ghost. I always mix these two Phoenix ships. But anyways, we got the win, but not very clean, so it's gonna be very low banners in Grand Arena. However, the counter that gets better, more reliable, better banners will be Endurance. So I don't know, I'm not sure if setting Scimitar with Leviathan is the best thing to do on defense. Well, yeah, it makes it worse in terms of banners. With Leviathan and Profundity, it gives you more banners than before if you do use Endurance, so it's a give or take, I guess. It's something you'll have to decide by yourself what you want to try out. But this is a pretty straightforward battle. We just start off obviously there. You hide Anakin in stealth, so then they isolate 5s. And then here what I will do, I will use the AoE, because when Marauder has Valor and you use the AoE, it gives you critical damage up, critical chance up, and offense up, which means both Anakin and Marauder, they'll be hitting very hard. First reinforcement Ahsoka, you dispel the taunt, and then you just nuke out the TIE Dagger. If for some reason TIE Dagger would still be alive at that point, usually Anakin's AoE there would finish him off. And now they're bringing in Scimitar as the reinforcement, and here we're going to go ahead and put his ability over Marauder, so he gets defense penetration up, boosting damage even further. Okay, I may lose 5s there, that's okay, that's what happens sometimes. But again, without them having, you know, Seed Fighter or Mark 6 as the reinforcement, at this point, they're kind of losing their steam. We go ahead now, heal up Anakin, put him in the stealth again. Their bomber barely hanging on. So here I guess you could do multiple things. You could apply Valor, but 2 of my ships have Valor already. You can bring in a reinforcement, but then you get dazed straight away. So in this case, I just decided to use the ultimate. So we get the mass assist from the allies that have Valor on Scimitar, blowing up Scimitar, finishing off Bomber, and now we have things under control at this point. Just probably a couple of heads over there. So just now they disabled my reinforcements, but you know, a couple of more hits here, and we should, there we go, we should be good to go here. So yeah, definitely Endurance versus this lineup I think will be the go-to counter if you do want to have something reliable, unless you want to do a mirror match. Profundity can still work, but it can get dicey if you don't get enough assists. There's less, I guess, room for error as the one with Mark 6 as the first reinforcement, because no tenacity up. So there you go, guys. Hopefully this video answers some of the questions many of you had in the comments section of my previous video, and on my Discord server there's been some chatter as well. But anyway, test it out and let me know if any of these counters do work for you. But until then, have fun, enjoy life, and may the RNG be with you, my friends.